Alright, how we doing? Just gonna check my volume here. I can't check my volume. Whatever, we're fine, right? Who cares? Who cares? I should check. Okay, what do I do to check? This should be a valid check. Yeah, okay, it's not bad. Alright, alright. There we go. Probably getting a bit of echo there. But yeah, I've neatened things up a little bit. I didn't play this for a while, and I haven't been doing much for myself for a while, I guess. Yeah, this. This is an interesting thing. I've been doing a lot of video stuff for my oldest son, who I think I've talked about a bit. His YouTube presence. I think I fixed the steel thing, so that's nice. Hopefully I haven't destroyed anything else. There has been some random destroying on here, right? I don't really remember my strats, but I do remember that... oh, okay, that's good. I do remember that... You know, I'm trying to raise stats. I'm very stat dependent in the game here. I got an agility up. Those are always good for all characters. Yeah, hopefully this is gonna pick up the game audio pretty well. Oh, that's pretty bad damage. And I took some damage too. Yeah, so what we're noticing here, in general, is that Ferry, or Ferris, is pulling away from all of the party members in terms of 1v1 power. And really, this is happening because... it's the agility-based character. And so her agility is 18... Pretty good for early game. Considerably higher than everyone else's. And because it powers her turn order and her weapon, she gains more of that resource itself. You know? She gains more agility because she uses her agility more. She has more opportunity to use her agility because she's first in the turn order every time. Okay. And then the max HP gains. Ferris, for some reason, has ended up being such a hulking creature. Now that she's got an extra slot, I should throw some boots or something on her, too. Although it's not going to do much. The next pair of boots in the game is the one that boosts agility, and that's really good. But the Getas boost strength, and so that doesn't actually do anything for Ferris and her command set. And then these two characters, both mana-based. What's interesting is that Krill here hasn't really gained much mana, just because there's only so often you cure in battle, right? And then heal and teleport aren't even usable in battle. So I need to consider that, how I can boost that. I did want to buy a fog book a while ago. I don't think I did that. Whatever. This is inside Key's body. She's green, I guess. Now this is a whole bunch of enemies, and they happen to be vulnerable to flame. I think. The Onis might not be, really. But... yeah, and we learned last time we played that there actually is no targeting issue in the game. The targeting issue that I thought existed is actually just the fact that my surprise kicks in so often. And surprise shows the enemies doing nothing every single time. So that's some serious money. That makes combat kind of worthwhile, you know? Like I can buy a new item. I don't remember which finger has the stupid magi. I'm partly guessing and partly going off my memories. Look at that. These are my memories from when I was like a kid. Like I did watch speedruns of this. But it's not like that really enables you to memorize it. I'm not a speedrunner. I'm not doing iterative play. Oh, these enemies were doing nothing. I didn't need to shield. Oh well, there's always a chance that my nice knight friend could be gaining defense, and that's exciting. So. Cool. Cool. That was a bad round. Cool. I like all the blocking. That makes me feel good. Oh, Krile got a fire weakness. Aren't we lucky? Some of these characters are pretty bad. I guess I got strike first. I was going to say, like, I don't know whether this is worth fighting, but... are these guys weak against fire or blizzard? I know neither is especially good for, like, viruses, if that's what these are. It is perfect for the times we are living in. We are in Key's heart now, I believe. We're entering Key's heart. I think maybe I ought to keep running from the strike firsts. Just for resources' sake. Then again, I want to keep growing, but I don't want to have to do this dungeon, you know, more than once. If things get pretty desperate, I can always use teleport, so I guess that's fine. You know, I was talking about my nice healing friend here not really being able to develop her mana pool, and so maybe I'll just make an effort to use Cure in battle. Like, her curing is pretty bad, and it's partly because... oh, look at that. Partly because curing is also based on the target's mana in this game. Not even in small part. Oh, see, that was strong because her healing target had rather high hit points. Good job, Len. La 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 la. These guys are pretty easy to beat with a flame, so maybe we'll do that. The problem is that Len is incredibly slow. No need to go all adverb out here. Does poison carry on between battles in this game? I don't think it does. Oh, well, that's slightly better. Oh, look at all the damage, man. So you gotta keep Micron just in case you have to do this dungeon more than once. Okay, I gotta get serious now. I gotta stop fighting the battles that I can run from safely. Where is the Magi in Key's right foot? It's tempting, but I have to listen to what I just said to myself, right? It's like those woodmen are so easy to take out in one attack. That is basically the same battle. That one's worse. I don't want to fight that one. That would be a bad use of my resources. Oh, which toe is your Magi in? Not this. Oh, your big toe. So this one, I don't have a strike first. The Onis don't seem to have a lot of hit points, so maybe fire will kill them all. I think it did in that other battle I had with them, right? Oh, I'm taking real damage, though. Even when I'm shielding. I mean, it's helping, but it's not... And then the one who gets hit points is again fair. Look at her gigantic hit points. Why is that happening? Poison is a funny thing in this game. I was thinking about it. There's a poison spell, fog, and I had the opportunity to buy a fog book earlier. But, oh, that one I didn't have a strike first, I don't think. But it's like, I don't think the poison weakness actually exists in this game. Like, there's so little reason to ever want to use it. This is bad. Let's see if I can run. Okay. I think I might have such good agility. I've been building it on all characters. I mean, Len still sucks. But I think that my agility's ended up pretty good. So my run success is probably reasonable. The formula is something to do with like the total of your party's agility compared to the total of the enemy agility. Maybe it's an average. I don't know. Look at this. I'm doing great at running. Screw enemies. You know, this is like an inconvenient place for grinding, if that's what's going to happen. Like I'm fighting monsters get stronger, but I can't just stop and heal here. Even if I were to leave Key's body, it's a bit of a walk to the nearest village. And there's no good weapons there because it's back in the first world. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't want to leave. Let's just get this dungeon done. Let's run. We will exit Key's two-chambered stomach because she's a ruminant animal. Dear, dear Key. Maybe that's supposed to be some other organ. It's not going to be the big... Oh, it's in the pinky toe. She's got a magic pinky toe. You know what? I want to fight this one. My thought, and you're free to disagree with me, is that conjurers have a chance to drop magic books, and that sounds pretty good. Wow, that's a lot of enemies doing nothing. Okay, I'm probably not getting anything here. Yeah, well, mana up. Nothing to sneeze at. I was trying to develop Krill's mana, so... I still have to do the left hand. My right hand's the one I hurt recently. I don't know if I did that on my stream. Oh yeah, I did. I was playing with my bandaged thumb. It's mostly better now. So that's exciting. I had strike first, but basically what's happening is, I know this is a stack of 4 enemies, and I had strike first, and I was like, I know I can beat them in one turn with one action that I don't need for the boss, so it's like, well, let's do it anyway. Turned out it was worthwhile. I would call that worthwhile. I don't know how HP growth happens, but it seems to me that the characters who are doing the most are gaining the most hit points. Which is everyone but Bart. Part of the reason I want to do this, it's weird, part of the reason I want to do this run is to get it over with. And that's never going to sound nice, I guess. Like, I like this game. Playing with humans is pretty boring compared to playing with robots and monsters. And it's funny, because if I play Saga 3 after this, guess what? It's going to be a bunch of humans. But, where was I going with that? But there's other games I want to play. Like, I realize, I think a pretty good one to do, it's a really out there one, is Valkyrie Profile. And I want to try it, but then I'm like, that's going to get really boring really quickly, isn't it? I'm in the wrong finger for sure here. Yeah. Because it's going to be like one party throughout, and you basically, as long as you figure out the good combo, you're going to want to do the exact same method again and again. And so I was looking at ways to make it Knight, Thief, White Mage, Black Mage, and doing the White Mage, Black Mage part is pretty trivial. And I was like, who's the thief? And I was like, the best thief approximation in that game is clearly, and some people could disagree with me, like, I think anyone thinks of probably 2 characters. If you're thinking of who is the thief in Valkyrie Profile 1. There's Bad Ratch, Bad Luck, who is literally the thief, but he doesn't really match the archetype, especially the way it exists in the Final Fantasy series. You know, because he's kind of a gunner, but they present him as both a gunner and an archer. It's just weird. But then Lucian is both literally a bandit, and he happens to have kind of the right like appearance, and the fact that his ability knocks all the crystals and treasures out of the enemy, it's fitting. Like, from a gameplay perspective, he's the thiefiest character, and so I would go along with that. So I'd have Lucian, and then I was thinking of the knight, and it was like, I guess the Valkyrie with a sword, Lenneth. But then I thought about it more, and it was like, if I'm going to Game Shark Lucian into my party so I can use him before Chapter 6 when the game is, 2/3 over, then I may as well change the Valkyrie. Like, why wouldn't I, say, want to use Arngrim or Grey, who, looks kind of more knightly, although Grey is a terrible, terrible character. Maybe that should be the point, Because the game, if you're using amazing characters, like Arngrim and Lucian are useful, and mages are useful. We're talking about an easy playthrough of the game. Whereas if it were... if it was Grey as my leading heavy knight, that would be a different set of circumstances. Grey doesn't even level like the other two heavy knights in the game. He gets stats that aren't befitting of a heavy knight. He's cool looking. And he's underutilized, so I don't know, maybe that's kind of a good idea. Grey, Lucian, and 2 mages. Do I want to do Thunder or Flame? I think I want to do Flame. There's going to be a lot of dissolving going around here. Oh, Ferris fell. That's different. That was one who was targeting Ferris. Wow. Oh my. I guess so. Wow. Oh my. Whew. That got pretty nasty. We didn't have a lot of growth from it either. I didn't save before. That's a good fight to save before. Where'd your fairy friend go, Key? For a long time I was hoarding daggers. They're good for Len. Do I still have any daggers? I feel like I should buy a dagger before I leave. I got some flails. I'm gonna go buy one more dagger. It's weird, but I'm going to. Daggers don't exist in this game. It's one of the minor hacks I applied. It is minor. The level 1 crappy bow does like fixed damage, and I made it so that it's a dagger instead, because none of these characters are bow users, and so I just replaced it, and I made its power very mediocre, and it's an agility based weapon. It uses agility for damage, and it grows agility. Yeah. I have really good money right now, but I think I'm going to save it all. And I can sell the Micron now, so that's exciting. I feel like maybe I should reduce Bartz's shields. Get rid of the silver shield. The bronze shield is still there for like kind of spamming and growing, and the gold shield for when it actually matters. I could probably teleport. That time Bart's gained max HP. What? Do I still gain any stats off these first world enemies? These first world problems? You know what? I'm gonna buy a fog... Wait, should I buy a fog book? Like, there's gonna be really good armor available. I could get the giant armor for what's-his-face. That could be really good. Getting a fog book is tempting just for the sake of, you know, giving Krill an offensive option against undead, and it's strong, but also it's a way for her to use her mana that isn't just, you know, casting Cure. I got punch. Never did have those guys drop their longswords. Okay. So, should I have a detour to get some giant armor? I guess I don't know why I would be doing the entire Pillar of the Sky when I've got teleport. Especially if I can get giant armor. Like, giant armor is awesome. I think giant armor is awesome. Oh, I can't even afford it. I can get the giant helmet. Wow, that's some serious money. 26,000. I think the army armor might be... There was really good money in Key's body, but like I said, it wasn't convenient for leveling. So if I go this way, this will take me to, I believe it's Venus's world next. Venus was always the hardest part of this game for me as a kid. And once I figured out how to beat Venus, it rather opened up the rest of the game. Oh, no, this is Apollo's world still. Oh, this one's boring. Actually, this one's not boring. This one's fine. The 3 dungeons with little themes and a riddle is cute, and you can get... Oh, look at that level. You can get Apollo's music playing here by going to talk to him, so that's fun. I think he might even give you a Magi. Yeah. I always did the Donatus one first. In fact, I think I always did them in that order. But I saw this, so whoever I saw speedrunning this game recently, it wasn't a recent speedrun, but I saw it recently. They did the volcano first, and I really guess there's no reason why not. The Donatus town does have some good stuff for sale. Oh, there's the fog. But I think I'd be dumb not to save up for giant armor. What does Bart have? Giant gloves and bronze armor. That's abysmal. Bronze armor. Jeez. Okay, let's save up some money and go for that giant armor. Do not adjust your screen. It is supposed to be doing whatever this is. It's representative of us being underwater, I believe. Whew, that's strong. Need some better armor. If only we knew where to get some better armor. Yeah, the thing that's probably most unique and interesting about this game is that they make you go through a volcano twice. Like, volcano is kind of a funny RPG trope, but the fact that you go through this underwater volcano and then later on there's a surprise volcano you gain access to, and it's like, you know, putting you in a volcano the first time, it's like, wow, that's amazing, and doing it the second time, it's like, you don't still expect us to be impressed by this, do you? Maple Man is such a good name. I like the idea of him like spewing syrup. Ooh, good stats. Now this area, if I recall correctly, has like a healing tile. And so if I do want to grind, this might be one of the places where it's sensible to do so. For some reason I put all my single target attacks on the same enemy. That might have been a little dumb, but I'm sure we're fine. Oh, it didn't kill anyone. That's different. Yeah, I'd really like Len to gain some agility. His agility's awful. Okay, well, he's gaining hit points instead. Because Kawazu. What is that? Is there a secret? I don't remember this game having much in the way of passable walls. I know there's like one or two, but why'd they do that? So yeah, Len's an interesting. The way the character's developing is interesting. Becoming a real glass cannon, not too glassy of glass. Totally developing mana, but awful at everything else. And ultimately that's going to be fine, but he has to survive, and then he'll go last every round for the rest of the game. I've got all these power potions and whatnot. I feel like I don't want to store them forever, certainly. It's going to seem strange, but like Krill and Len can gain magic so easily and the other two can't. I kind of want Bart to have higher mana because he's easier to cure. And the only two characters who even benefit from strength are Bart and, to some extent, Krill. I guess I'll just do exactly that, because kind of why not? There, my swords are sorted in power order. Wow, that guy's got some serious hit points. I'm still using rather suboptimal weapons. Cool. Here comes the jelly. Are these jellies attacking me? I wasn't... Oh, they are. I probably should have run. Ooh. Been fairly lucky there. I don't know anything about weird encounter rates in this game, but perhaps that's a thing. Firebook. Oh, there's the healing thingy. The healing X. For some reason, that's one of those things that carries over between these first 3 Saga games. At least the first 2. So the exact same weird X symbol on the ground exists in Final Fantasy Legend 3. Wow, that's some damage. So Len gained mana there and not agility after he tried to attack with the dagger. How's our money doing? Because I'd really like that giant armor. Like, that's going to be the goal here. Grinding right here. until we get 26,000. And it'll be good for our stats too. And of course, now that I want the encounters, I have like 20 steps in between. Those sword guys are nasty. They are rather damage resistant. I can probably thunder them. Oh, I just realized that the heal square, although it heals me, it doesn't restore my ability uses. That is somewhat unfortunate, but we'll be okay. Are we actually going to make it to 26,000 here? Given that we're, hemorrhaging our ability uses of useful things like the flame spell? It is questionable. Bart gained HP. Fairy's agility up again. Bart gaining HP is exciting to me. Do 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 do. Thunder didn't kill these guys. I'm gonna try Flame and see if it beats them in one use. Oh, it didn't. Glenn gained ice. Interesting. That may be the answer to all of our woes. We don't actually have much in the way of woes. We're okay. With regards to woes. So what if we did this? Does this tree... Like trees... Seems to me that a tree guy should resist ice. Oh. Bart gained agility. That's good. Good, good, good. One more fight and I'm going to check the money because I haven't really been counting. Yeah, that defense move has been kind of annoying. Like 756, that's good money. I'm close. Could be a couple more battles will do it. But you know what? I'll fight this one and then I'll go because like I'm going to get it at this point. It's close enough. Oh my. It's going to be a long battle. Oh, no it isn't. Good stat gains here, really. I don't have anything to complain about. I don't think there's hidden items in the wings on this screen. Okay, yeah, you need True Eye to go into the bright cave place. Jerry armor. There we go. Just barely did it, I'm pretty sure. Good gains. Good. Krill even got mana. And I got my 26k. You persistent lizards who hang out with swords. The giant armor is good, but it's funny because you get access to dragon armor in the not way distant future. I don't know if I should keep the fire book or not. I mean, I have access to so many elemental magics already. What are the odds that I'm actually going to run out? I think the money is more valuable to me, at least for now. Giant armor. Maybe I should get Geta boots for Thiefy. I don't know. There are no right answers, just wrong ones. Well, that is a substantial difference. 20 defense and 10 strength. What's weird about that is Bart really hasn't increased his strength that much. I've been having him use a rapier so often. Most of his highest strength power is actually coming from his magi and his giant gear. Again, some items there are tempting, but like Temptat. Oh, Seaside Town isn't on the list. I thought it was. So yeah, each of these 3 different dungeons in Apollo's world has a few magi. And we've done one of the 3 now. Oh no. Yeah, he is nice and strong now. Like 30 strength is quite good for this point in the game. You could get higher at this point in the game if you had a reasonably equipped robot or whatever, but what do you people say around here? Wow. He went into a volcano. That's terrible. You should feel bad. Eat the meat. Aspiration. Yes, I remember for some reason that that's Apollo's music. We need it here. That's probably where I learned the word aspiration or aspire. Is this game? It's funny the way games can affect your vocabulary. At least I found that as a kid. I don't know. People have different influences now than certainly when I was young. I think about my sons. Every so often, one of my kids will pronounce a word funny. And I think about how great it is that they learned that by reading. I learned so much, especially like with all the JRPGs, I learned so much about mythology. Like I thought about, where did I ever learn about the Phoenix? And it's like, I'm pretty sure I saw it in the Conan the Barbarian cartoon and then Final Fantasy VI. I'm pretty sure that's why I knew about a phoenix. But I was like 12 at the time. But how else do you learn these things? I guess it depends what you're reading. I wasn't a big reader as a kid. I was a good reader, but I didn't like long books. I still don't. I still rarely read a novel. You know, maybe it's time to be leveling Bart's strength. What I like is that you get boots later on called the Hecate boots that are boots that enhance your magic. And I just think about how a pair of boots can do that. Is it improving your mind? Is that what's happening? How can a pair of boots make you more magically inclined? Oh, we might need to use our heal ability finally. Yeah, I think, yeah, some status effects last after battle. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. We have a white mage on the team. Isn't this good times? It's quite possible that will be the only time that matters in the entire run. I have a feeling the other way was chests. And there's a laser sword in here, so we want to get that. And I don't remember where it is. Oh, another one of those. I wonder why that did so much less damage. It's another one of those beak dragons. Bart's really gaining the max hit points now. What do I want to do here? I liked the moving floor in this room. Or in this dungeon. I always thought it was cool. A giant glove? I didn't know that was in a dungeon, or I wouldn't have bought one earlier. Oh, this wasn't a strike first. Okay. Doesn't seem to be mattering very much. Good money. Do I want to fight this one? No. Is there more chests? Like, I would hate to miss a good item. That could arguably be useful. Not really any more useful than the fire book I passed on earlier. Yeah. Apparently I have a bad geographic sense. I blame the moving floor that I just told you I liked. This must be the laser sword. Out on the end of this bridge in the white space in the super bright, colorful dungeon with the moving floor. Are we sure this wasn't we just did it because it looked cool? Oh my goodness, you're down a few weapons. Okay. Oh my goodness. They're all doing nothing because they were targeting Bart. I'm not sure why I chose this one to fight. It didn't do anything for me. But the good news is we have a white mage. How exciting. Oops. You need some gear, my friends. I don't think I should give you a giant gauntlet. That just doesn't seem like the right fit. I removed the parasuit from this game. I replaced it with some kind of high-level magic armor. It's called like mage armor. And it's much worse than the parasuit. I just thought the parasuit would make the differences in the classes trivial, and I didn't want that. There are 2 parasuits in the game if I wanted to do Nasty Dungeon, so... Nah. Huh. Do I want to try using that? He's got 4 pieces of armor, right? Okay. Okay, we gotta strike first. Let's fight something just because I haven't been. Let's do this, because hopefully this will burn the trees all in one round. And if it doesn't, we'll burn them all next round, and our friend Bart will use a shield, and hopefully we won't take a ton of damage. Boy, that's a lot of enemies. Nice. Yeah, the plan to use the shield, that was for the event that we, didn't beat everyone. No point now. I would like Len to gain some agility. Glenn, can you gain some agility? No? I'm not going to complain about Bart gaining HP. I remember very specifically one time when I ate meat in Odin's World and my monster turned into, I think, a raven somehow, which is like such an early, it's the lowest possible bird form, and it was, I could barely survive battles after my monster turned like that. If there were fewer griffins, I would have done that one. My rule set for running seems to be, getting increasingly arbitrary. That's okay. We talked at the beginning of this run how it was going to be arbitrary, and anyone interested in it was going to have to cope with that. Pea spider means poisonous spider. A little tip for you. Now we can do Donatus's things, including Donatus's town, where we get another ally for a little bit, although it's an ally that, like the others, I've nerfed them. I think this is called Donatus Town, like in the warp menu. There is some question as to whether that's a good name, because the people here don't... Oh no, they do like Donatus. I was thinking they don't like him, but they say, like, he sings, he's the wind. He's a wind god. I think I got... I don't think I'm going to use the Revenge Sword. I don't think I'm going to use the Giant Gauntlet on anyone other than the person who already has one. Morning Star. That would be an improved weapon for my healer friend. But I could also save up and get better armor later. Oh, and these sweet, sweet high multiplier weapons. The gold sword's better than the katana. So that's just a renamed Blitz Whip. There's nothing specifically interesting about that. I like that, like, in a village like this, there's basically one civilian home. And it's the person you have to rescue. Okay. Good fight. Okay. There's an interesting thing. The map graphics for like the shadows at the edge of a wall get reused here for like a slope, and it's funny because to me it always had resembled a slide, and in this dungeon they use it as a slide at one part that we are not at yet. Well, that kind of worked. Bartz, you got the highest HP, man. Great job. Great job growing. Fun fact, when I was approximately 4, my mother measured my height against some part of the wall where we measured height or something like that. I don't remember that itself existing. She measured my height, and she was so proud that I grew. I said, I grew? We should throw a growing party. My mom was like, yes. And we had a growing party, and we wore party hats, and we had treats. I think I invited friends. And we all celebrated how much I grew that day. Growing party. What just happened with my mutant abilities? Nothing? Nothing. Okay. I really want the I think you get boots here. Don't you? Some kind of Oh, well, I can't use that. I think that might be the slide right there. So I'm going to backtrack. I seem to have accidentally taken a right turn. And by right, I mean correct, not left. Dexter rather than sinister. You know, these battles are tempting because I know I can wipe them in one use of the ice spell, and he can lose ice at any time. So it's like, why not use it? It'll get replenished with something at some point. So I think anything where I have a strike first and it's one group of enemies, I think I will fight it. Maybe I am imagining it was the chest we saw earlier in the dungeon across like a black pit. Oh, you finished using your hammer. Okay. Yeah, good money from that. That's worth doing. That wasn't even a strike first, I don't think. Wherever you see this slide, you if you didn't know it was going to happen, you would just think it was a normal thing to walk into, and it would surprise you. But I will not be surprised this time. But I do really want to not miss chests. Is that weird? These fights are not calling my name, and yeah, for some reason I'm very easily able to run from them, which I guess I should be happy about. Okay, apparently I'm not missing any chests. Maybe it was going in the south cave entrance. I just remember getting stuck there. Like, I think you go in and you find out, oh, I have to go the other way. I think that's how that works. So go down here. Yeah, this is it. Okay, yeah, there's no reaction time. All right. And then you walk around and you find Lynn somewhere. Ooh, an elixir, except it's spelled funny. I don't want to do that fight, not when I don't have the drop on them. And Lynn is standing somewhere really obvious. Now, as you might expect, Lynn isn't as good as usual because I don't want her to actually affect combat. So I think she has punch and 1 in all stats type thing. Yep. Amazing. And Donatus is right here, so that's super. Eliminate! I don't need to hold out for any special abilities or anything like that, so that's a treat. I think I'll just use real attacks and see what happens. It turns out getting hit by a machine gun sucks. Oh, I got a flail. Holy moly. That was some serious stuff there. Okay. Turns out my dad is living a double life. And I was standing in the room with him and I decided to leave rather than ask a clarifying question. Am I fully healed? I am. I'm going to check that south cave entrance. Oh, yuck. I think Thunder will wipe these guys. It did before. But, you know, there's a bit of variance. Hopefully I don't end up with a regrettable situation here. Yeah, okay. I did it all for the money. Come on. Hermes, yeah. So that would be really cool for Ferris. She's going to get powerful off this. It's 4 points of defense and 10 points of agility, which is also her primary damage stat. So like that's incredible. Although that damage was a little underwhelming. Yeah, I think these guys happen to have really good defense in addition to their actual defense ability. And she just gained agility. Jeez. What I really want is for things like, you know, Bart to gain some strength. That would be the big win. Hey, it happened. Now I want cake. Hermes boots would be pretty grand for all of us. I don't know if we can buy them in Venus's world, but that would be cool. I think if you go check on Apollo after you fight all the bosses in Apollo's world, or sorry, get all the Magi in Apollo's world, I think he's just gone. And the next place you would see him, assuming you're checking around at all, is the Dragon Race. But I think we're at Venus's world now, I think. Which, as I was saying earlier, it's the place I remember getting hung up the most as a kid. This is not Venus's world. This is Guardian's world. I remember this one. There's a shop that's only open for a little while here, if I recall correctly. This spider must be... Oh, he's not a Guardian. He's not a Guardian spider. Maybe he's a Pete spider. Am I ever actually going to use the Revenge Sword? It doesn't block anything. I'm probably not. And I'm never going to use Rocket. But the rest of that stuff is cool. And these things are also good, but I'm not going to do them now. I don't think I'm ever going to buy the stone spell. Any good armor? Hermes boots! Hey! That's exciting. That's why I raised my arms in triumph. I think I might buy 2 pairs of Hermes boots. And then I'm gonna put them on my 2 mages. It's a little defense boost and a pretty substantial agility boost, and it'll do wonders for Len. (26), 15. Len is now faster than Bart, and so that might be good, it might be bad, actually. I don't know. Those are some very expensive Geta shoes. Although I bet that's the kind of thing where if you wanted to get the right Geta, it would be expensive. So the way you find the Secret Guardian base is by going into this pub, and I only know this from like Nintendo Power or something, or from many, many years past anyway. There's hints in this pub, but what you do is you play the heroic tune, and it opens the door. And then you get in trouble. And then you get out of trouble. The whole thing only takes a minute. Dad, what about your double life? What about your responsibilities to my sister I haven't met? The game seems a lot sillier, by the way, when the main character is like a robot or a hideous monster and they say things like that. I mean, they didn't say exactly what I just said, but you know what I mean. Maybe you know what I mean. Maybe you don't know what I mean. Go ahead and interpret what you think I mean. This isn't really a two-way conversation. I mean, it could be, but the chat's not exactly hopping today. There was a couple people watching for a while. I'm much more concerned about your double life than getting a good rest. Father, you are dismissive. Also, the walls all broke while I was sleeping. So, every enemy you meet here also drops a Magi. And they're from a couple worlds in the future. Yeah, I hope that Len will be able to gain some agility now that he's faster than Bart. Maybe that'll happen, maybe not. Ferris's agility, yeah, okay. Same old. The hit points really took off, didn't they? So once again, Dad is pretty mediocre. He's even worse than Mask. Mask had a shield. Ooh, that was a hard hit, Mr. Mantcore. How ironic that the white mage just got steel. Maybe that's not ironic, more... What would the term for that be? Let me ask Alanis Morissette. Hey, look, it's Len. Evil Len. Oh, good job on those 9 damages. Len gained agility, finally. Obake. Ah, good, we stunned a ghost with a whip. I can't believe how ineffective that was. Sometimes the team surprises me with how good they are, but more often it's rather the opposite. Okay, Len gained agility. That means we're well on our way to being less of a joke. Oh man, they put all the chairs in holes. Those enemies are jerks. And this enemy is Bart, but it turns out he's actually a terrorist or something. A commando. I wonder, I know a bit about how Magi work in terms of the stat boosting ones, but I don't know too much about whether cumulative fire Magi make you better and better at fire magic. Because that would be pretty cool. If, you know, it continuously improved Len's flame spell. That would be pretty sweet. You fooled me. He blew himself up. The number one guy of the NPCs? I didn't make that change. Does it use the... It must use the class name as an insert there. I swear I didn't do that. That's quite funny looking. Okay, I hope we don't die too bad. I remember this guy's damage is really high. Let's use strong things against him and see what happens. Maybe he'll kill Lyn. That would be grand. Oh, he didn't. There we go. Oh, got a katana. That's cool. Good games, everybody. Well done. I mean, that's great that the... That's funny! The NPCs. That katana will be useful. It's not as strong as the gold sword, but style points. You don't always want to use the strongest weapon, especially if you're doing something like purposefully using weak weapons for... Like, that's what I'm doing. That's why I've been using daggers and longswords. I mean, I guess, according to my own rules, not the game's rules, my Black Mage doesn't exactly have a whole lot of equipment options. But yeah, I've been using things like rapiers and longswords, which are really bad weapons. They're ending up okay because my character's stats are developing well. But if I were using all the best stuff, I'd actually be dealing pretty great damage, I think, with my best two characters. Maybe with all of them, if I actually went for it. But, you know, that's an expensive way to operate in this game. You know, do the trivial encounters with the trivial equipment. What world am I in? Well, I guess I'll just keep going until it stops me. Like, that part of the Pillar of the Sky didn't look familiar to me. And there was Guardian's World, and then there was the Ninja World. Okay, so we're advancing by 2 full worlds. And then this one, finally, should be Venus's world that I've talked about for 3 worlds. Right? Yes, this is Venus's world. See, I've been talking about this for a while. The Venus's world is very modern looking, which is very exciting. Most modern thing I saw in a Game Boy game until I got to Viper City in the next game. And it has tons and tons of stores. In fact, I don't really remember like how you keep straight what things you still need to buy and not. Is there anything here? I'm not holding any garbage right now. Oh yeah, this is good equipment. Like I can get army armor. I think that's valid for my thief. Oh, you can actually buy giant armor here. I think army armor is a really good idea. Nah, I can't quite afford it. Let's sell something random and unexciting like cures. There we go. That should be an improvement. Not a huge improvement, but an improvement. Yeah. It's not as good as the giant armor. That's not going to matter in, another world when I get to the dragon armor. I don't even know for sure if I'm going to equip the dragon armor or not. I might just want to keep things the way they are. And there's some good weapons. You get access to grenades, which are fixed damage weapons that are a really good upgrade generally for a robot at this point. And the exciting thing about the explosive robot weapons is they're essentially fixed damage, but they're like good fixed damage. You don't have to worry too much about the stats. Okay, there's flame swords. That's pretty sweet. Oh, psi swords. I guess technically I'm not going to be using psi swords. They don't suit any of my characters, but flame swords, pretty cool. I don't know how much I need flame swords. Gold swords are pretty great. Where else can I shop? Oh, there's one there. Oh, it's an inn. I'll have to remember that. And then you can go talk to Venus, and it turns out, and you would never have expected this, the goddess of beauty is a big jerk. There's a whole plot line in this world, and it's actually quite an amusing plot line. So she says, you can't find any magi here. And there's this whole kind of like love plot between these characters. I don't know if maybe you have to talk to them to trigger the story events and whatnot. He got an ugly leg, so he got exiled. Only beautiful people can live here. And she's letting me stay here because I killed Ashura, and Ashura is ugly. Thanks, Mr. Robot. I like the way you look like a van. Yeah, the enemies here pick up a bit, and there's enemies with the surprise ability that my thief has. So yeah, that can be kind of dangerous. Probably going to get fewer surprises here. Anyway, I think this is a good point to stop, even though I just got to the Venus's world that I had been talking about. But, it's its own affair, and I have to go to bed, so I'm going to wrap up. How do I do that? Good night.